Welcome to another Integrative Wisdom video, or as I've been calling them, thanks to a friend Joanne, Verna's videos. Short and sweet. But today, Verna's video is actually today's office view. Today's office view is just a way to remind us that we have options. We also have kind of a responsibility to take the reins and help make our work world better. And using these amazing eyes that we've been given and this amazing heart that we have, we can choose to take steps to make the work space more conducive to our well-being. So that's what we're doing here today. And so again, I've been thinking about those individuals whose lives have been upended in their work world by the coronavirus and the orders to, kind of separate out, stay home, work from home, or change your office space so that you are not really involved with others around you, which, carries its own struggles. The other thing that I want to clear up is that even though this says today's office view, it's really about our work in the world. And so it doesn't matter if you aren't employed. You could be retired. You could be a stay-at-home individual, keeping the home fires burning. Anywhere you are, using your day, that's kind of the idea, to take a look around and see what your responsibility is to make it more conducive to being a place of inspiration and a place where you can do good work. So there we go. Today's office view, thinking about how to proceed as we go forward. Some individuals who do have a place of employment are heading back to that place. And again, it might be drastically changed at this point in time. So I wondered what's in your toolbox, in your first aid kit for your soul and your heart. And today I just brought along this little, this is a part of this whole Catalyst card deck. It's a talisman. It's a stone, obsidian stone. And it says, it's going to be reversed for you, but it says my practice. And that's what I'm wondering today. What's in your toolbox for you as you enter into your work in the world? What are those practices that you take forward? And I've heard from individuals, taking that moment to stretch, taking that moment to do a bit of yoga, taking that moment to say a prayer, taking that moment to apply essential oils, and taking that moment to ground. And so those are all great practices. So if indeed you have, and maybe you haven't even really thought about that as a toolbox or a first aid kit. Maybe it's just like, oh, well, that's my routine, or that's my practice. Oh, that's my practice. So as long as you're aware that you have the power to help shift things and that you don't feel powerless. Now, the power is going to come from within, right? And the power is going to be within your own psyche, in charge of your own emotions, in charge of your own outlook, in charge of your willingness to show up and do the work. You may not be able to change the the corporate environment. I know I tried. That doesn't work so well. Um, Not always. Doesn't mean we give up on it. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that in the interim, here is where the power lies. And so, one of the main things that you might do throughout your day is to, again, as we always say in Integrative Wisdom, to stop. In this office view, as I look around and I see the pile of papers or I see the emails that I have to respond to, I stop. And I breathe consciously. I ask to be centered, to be able to take away all the worries and fears that I might be carrying around with me. And it's not that we push them away, it's that we acknowledge they're there, but that for right now we choose to set them aside. And we will come back to them and we will honor them, but we will also recognize that they could be transitory. Fear and deep emotion oftentimes come and go. And they could come and go with being how tired you are. They could come and go with the fact that you haven't eaten. They could come and go with being stuck or cooped up in a enclosed environment and you haven't gotten any fresh air. They could be that you haven't moved your body, you haven't drank liquid, water, things like that, because this is a body-mind. It's a body-mind. And so you have to nourish the physical to assist with the emotional and mental. I was thinking about that today because this weekend I felt strong emotions this weekend. And of course, if you look into any kind of astrology, numerology, energy work in the world, this was a very powerful weekend. It was the solstice, and it also was the solar eclipse that you couldn't see in the northern hemisphere, but it was happening. And so we were, and then all the planets and this and that and all that. And I am not an expert, but I like to look at many different fields of endeavor that are around me and recognize that even though that may not be my wheelhouse, that there's some wisdom that might be there. And so anyway, I was observing. And so when I noticed that it was feeling kind of like, I like that. That's a word, right? I stopped and I took a breath. And then I actually did a shakedown. And so I wanted to shake up the energy. I didn't want it to get stuck. It's one of my tools. And I made it through and I felt better. And then when I noticed later on it was coming back, I did the same thing and I smiled. That's another thing that changes the energy that you have within you. And like I said, it's not that you're pretending that it's not there. That is not what we're doing. We are honoring, but emotions are transitory. They come and go. And so there are ways for us to move through them without reacting. Anger. We don't even know why we get angry sometimes, right? But we feel it building up. And then the closest person to us gets to experience our wrath. And then we're like, oh, darn it, now I got to go try to figure out how to make that better because I didn't really mean to do that. And then that causes a whole nother thing, right? What are my tools to communicate to others? I'm sorry. Please forgive me. That's a whole nother topic. We won't go there today. So, what's in your toolbox? What's in your first aid kit? What is your practice? What can you grab onto And in your office view, purview, what works best for you might be different for each one of us. You know, some people may really be able to do a workout and they feel better. That's not going to be me, guys. And you can tell me how good it is, and I believe you, but it's not something that motivates me. And if you remember the card that we chose last week, Wednesday, on Soul Catalyst Card Deck Day, know what motivates me. Don't try to be like everybody else. Know what works for you and do it. Do it and use it. So there we go. Today's office view for the week of the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th. I do Monday through Friday. So I hope that this helps as you think about your toolbox. And as always, if you have any questions or observations, please do let me know. All right, everybody, take good care. Let's have a great week.